Okay, everybody's got a gun, stick slash gun? So what time? So that's 6 p.m.? You're going to attack in the middle of the night? We're not marching, but we're going at a steady walking pace. Matt, swing left. Hey, swing left, guys. Bring it over this way. So the idea of doing this, Mr. Mack, Mr. Young, and I came up with the idea of trying to create a real simulation to give them at least a taste of what it feels like to be out in the open. And what we found is that when we put students in the situation, we had a day of preparation, the problem solving is so much more realistic. Then they see the problems with communication, with supply, of trying to figure out how to take a trench that you can't see. No, don't go around the wire, Ava, you're out of position. Through the gap here, Lauren, this is the gap.
So on our first day, we started off with, we had 3 different groups, and that first group we were looking at communication and different ways they would communicate during that First World War. Then after that we were working on digging the trench, and it was kind of hard because we'd have to stay pretty low and so we wouldn't get shot. And then finally we were looking at different attack strategies and stuff that we were going to be carrying out today, and most of the plans we had misjudged the distance for the shells that we'd be shooting by about 100 meters, so none of them turned out to be that successful.
What hill? You could be in the trench. What's the problem with being on the trench?
Our plan, we attacked in 3 different lines, and our plan was a little more successful because they didn't know we were all coming, because they thought we were all coming at one time, and they were trying to hide for longer. So our plan was more successful than theirs, but still it didn't work out perfectly.
If you look down to the side here, the trench itself was it was an experience in itself, because a lot of people haven't dug that much, maybe a bit in the garden, and suddenly you realize, oh, taking a trench down, as you can see, about 3 feet, it's significantly challenging. And so we tried to give them a mixed experience so they could at least put a context on things when we go back to class. And we're working with a book called Generals Die in Bed, and I think this will put much more realistic context on it for them.
It gives you a different perspective. Like, you don't really understand what it's like until you actually try to do it, and you don't realize that digging trenches is actually so hard, and theirs would be so much harder because it's colder and their shovels aren't as big, and it just gives you like a whole different perspective of it.
All right, let's see what happens here.